Hi YouTube. My name is Sean Flowers, and I just feel like I need to lend my voice to the debate. I'm a nobody. I live in Cromwell, Connecticut. It's nowhere town, but I'm just wanted to make this video in response to the protests that are happening in Virginia. I think, um, it's absolutely horrible. I think that this is happening in America. I know it shocked me. It's probably shocking the whole country. It's shocking the world, probably. Shit like this happens all around the world all the time. I understand that. But for something like this to go mainstream in the United States is crazy. You know what I mean? We have peaceful assembly. We have freedom of speech in this country. So fine, whatever. They have a right to do it. And shit like this happens. But this is one of the largest gatherings we've seen in decades. And I think this has been accelerated through social media and other shit. You look at the 2016 election, that was crazy. I feel like that's had a big impact on what is now politically correct and what's now okay to do in our country. Anybody that's in the minority, whether you're gay, transgender, bisexual, different race, different ethnicity, whatever, people are on edge. You worship a different religion, you know what I mean? People are on edge and it's not cool. And I'm not assigning blame to any one particular person or group. I think us as a collective, as a society, has allowed this to happen. I'm not saying Donald Trump is a racist. I don't think he is. I think his campaign became a catalyst for those that are racist and have bigoted views, and he did nothing to denounce them. If anything, I'm tempted to say that he willingly did so, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say inadvertently he almost encouraged that behavior. And you're seeing the ripple effects in our society, most definitely. Steve Bannon being elevated to fucking chief strategist, him for a while sitting on the National Security Council. What type of shit is that, bro? Breitbart, need I say any more? Whatever. I'll give you a little personal anecdote. Like I mentioned before, I live in a town called Cromwell, Connecticut. It's a predominantly white suburb in the state of Connecticut, and I've never had any problems of racism in this town. I've moved here when I was 10. I live in a really nice neighborhood. My parents are middle class. We have a good house. And I've never experienced any hate or bigotry until a couple months after the 2016 election. I'm 22 years old, and I was walking home from work one day, and a bunch of kids drove by. They must have been 16, car full of kids. The driver obviously had to be 16, but maybe some of them were younger. And they rolled by and said, "Go home, nigger." I can't help but state the irony of the fact that these were children. What is happening? I feel like this shit trickles down. You see what our elected officials and leaders and people of supposed importance, the way they act, that shit influences kids. So I think that's crazy that's kids can roll by and do that. And again, in my entire life, I've experienced whatever, high school bullshit or whatever, but that was my first real experience of actual racism in my life. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it happened so soon after the 2016 campaign. Whatever I have, and again, I'm not subscribing that this is in the minority, but a minority in the sense that now this minority has it's gone mainstream. I know people, I have friends that voted for Trump. They're not racist. You know what I mean? I'm not saying everybody is. It's just, I don't know. It's it's so devious, this shit. It's so inconspicuous, or you know what I mean? Or conspicuous, I should say. Yeah, it's so conspicuous. It's fucking nuts, man. I think there are people in the protest that legitimately wanted to save their heritage and were sad to see Confederate landmarks go. But this protest has just been hijacked by racist haters. And you're seeing that effect, what happened. It just spilled over. Us as a country, we have to be better than this. I know we're better than this. I've seen it in the response to the protests, which is really heartening. And I think everybody should take a little bit of time to just speak out on the matter and do what's right. That's what I'm doing. That's the only way shit changes. I'm not like super involved in like civics and like what happens in our in the country. I don't like go out. I'm not an activist or anything, but I feel like I'm just being a citizen right now, just taking 5 minutes out of my day to make my voice be heard. That's the only way this shit changes. I denounce the white supremacists and alt-right people that showed up there to protest what they did. I think it's bullshit.